right, my loves. Tell me something about Emma that folks at home may not know. We've seen a lot through social media, through pictures, her on the show sometimes.
She is very funny. She's very physical. She's all over the place, but in a good way.
She is the second child, but um, she always keeps Abby in line. She's a rule follower. She's a good friend.
When it comes to her spirit and her dynamic with Abby, tell us about how they interact with each other. What is that dynamic like?
They get along great. And they bicker every once in a while, but they're about as close as sisters can be.
I would say they're best friends. They're each other's person. They definitely hold up for each other. They have each other's back, even when we might try to like discipline one of them. The other one will kind of discipline us because we're picking on her sister. But yeah, they're each other's person.
Tell me about October.
It just came out of nowhere. One day she's fine. The next day she's lethargic, unresponsive. I took her to urgent care, and within 5 minutes they said to take her to the emergency room, and within about 15 minutes they said she was critical. Like, critical? How could that be? And then we were off to the races from there. Do you want like a blow-by-blow of what happened, or?
She was intubated here, and then they had to life flight her to Peoria, and they just tried to stabilize her. She was in the ICU, still very unresponsive, and once they got her to kind of come out, to be stable and come out of like, not really a coma, but just being under, they realized that her left side was not working very well. They found a brain bleed, and we knew that early on, so they were just kind of watching it. But then once her left side became more unresponsive, weaker than her right side, they decided to go in and do surgery a little bit more immediately than had planned. They were able to pull the blood clot from the area where she was having her brain bleed, which was in her cerebellum, the middle part of her cerebellum, and didn't really see that there was any kind of damage around that area, and so decided to go a little bit further, and that's when they found her tumor.
And so, obviously, this condition being something new for you both and learning in the community, learning with you all, tell me about DIPG and what have you all learned about that?
Well, it's rare. Only a few hundred kids a year get it.
Less than 1% survive.
Yeah.
It is located in the pons of your brainstem, and it's in a very critical place that controls your balance, your breathing, your motor function, all your major things of living, and it is inoperable and incurable at this time.
So, obviously, your lives have changed and how you've gone about your days have changed. Walk us through, for people at home, what a day in the life of the Welp household now looks like for you all.
Well, I have stopped working. I'm a teacher. I've recently tried to go back just a couple days a week. Emma has still continued to go to school with her sister. They're in first grade, and our mornings are probably the worst. Usually she wakes up either with like a headache or she's vomiting a little bit. Once she kind of gets up, and sometimes she requires just some Zofran for her nausea or a Tylenol for a headache. Usually then she's pretty good for the day. She gets tired easily at night, but will sleep all night, and do well. We went from when she came home from the hospital. I still felt like she was very critical and had trouble walking and just doing everyday things. That got better as she did her radiation, as that helped to shrink the tumor a little bit. And then I would say like we're kind of on the decline now. So.
You had mentioned the point, coming back home was obviously a very big deal for you guys. And to see the picture of you guys being able to come back home, and what was that like for you to have that moment after being in the hospital?
It was great to have her home. I mean, she was recovering really well, but just to see her having to use a walker and having a feeding tube was really tough. But having her home was great. The hospital stay felt like it was 6 months.
Yeah, and home was definitely the best place for her. It's where her sister was. And her dogs and the cat and just normal things. And she really thrived pretty quickly. We got rid of the feeding tube within a couple days, a week or so of her being home. She ditched the walker soon after. And we still feel comfortable with her balance. Like, she's unsteady, but we don't feel like it's something like that would harm her at this time. But it was just nice to kind of start doing some normal family things again, because it just came out of nowhere. So we didn't know we would have that time back.
So after everybody coming home in that period, walk us through what changed in terms of the visits to Chicago and the hospital in terms of that breakdown of sorts.
Well, after she got home, we did radiation for 6 weeks, and I think that helped. But then once the radiation was over, it was time to decide if we wanted to do any clinical trials, and that's kind of a nightmare of paperwork and hard decisions to make. And eventually Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago decided that they would take us on for a trial, and that's when we got the bad news that the cancer had spread to her spine. So that kind of changed everything. Just when we thought we were going this way, we had to go that way. And now there's really not a lot we can do. So now we're just focusing on keeping her happy and comfortable and doing the best we can on that.
A lot of those happy moments have come in the form of spending a lot of time with each other in terms of, being able to take a trip to Disney and the princess parties and things like that. What has that meant for you all to see that normalcy you were talking about, Laura?
Yeah, it was good. We decided we're involved with Make-A-Wish right now, but they're not traveling just because of COVID. So we decided, that was her wish, was to go to Disney. So we took it upon ourselves to make sure that she got to see Disney. So we did like a 2-day Disney trip. We saw the ocean. They got to play in the sand, took a boat ride. It was great. She felt great the whole time she was there. People told us she's going to need a wheelchair at the park. She's going to get tired. And she walked the entire time. Like, she was such a trooper. So that was a wonderful trip that we all had. Her older sisters were able to be there with us as well. And then our Make-A-Wish friends, they put together a really special event for the girls at the Vrooman Mansion in Bloomington. And they were able to get Disney princesses to come over from the Peoria area, and we had a carriage ride, and we had family there, and they got to have a friend each, and we stayed the night and had a tea party and a coronation. So Abby and Emma are now official princesses, and we had the best time. Like, it was just so fun to see her thrive and just be normal and not worry about not feeling well and doctor's appointments and that kind of stuff. So we often spend our evenings on the couch watching movies, playing games, just time together.
Another element that's really big coming out of this is just the community support. It just from the outside looking in has been phenomenal. What do you all feel when you see that, particularly with the GoFundMe page? What is that like for you all?
Being the pessimist that I am, it gives me renewed hope in the world to see how many people care. I mean, not just family and friends, complete strangers, people we'll never probably meet. People from all over the world have shared her story. I think our GoFundMe page has had more than 10,000 shares on Facebook. People bringing food, gift cards, toys, activities, money. It's just been amazing. It's been overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, this happened in October, and even just this morning, I took the dogs out, and there was a vase of flowers that was just for our family, just saying we're praying for you and thinking about you. But on a daily basis, we are still receiving money and gifts, and now we have a T-shirt fundraiser going on that says "Embracing Emma," which is kind of our slogan for her. But yeah, I would say just they're such good girls, and their school and their Uptown Dance Ballet in Uptown Normal and Jump Spot, where they do gymnastics, have all been really great families that have reached out to us, additionally to our own families and friends. And we just have a really good and big tribe that is just taking care of us.
Why did you all feel the Embracing Emma page was so important in terms of sharing Emma's story and your family's story?
Well, a lot of people are curious as word spreads about this. And I would update people sometimes on my work Facebook page, and when I wouldn't, people would ask. And the other thing is that people see pictures and videos of her. She looks so normal. She's happy. She looks great. But her condition is what it is. We're just fortunate that she's been so great up until this point. So not necessarily just a reminder to people, but just to let people know what's going on and where she's at.
And we had kind of contemplated for a while. People were asking us, like, can you do a Caring Bridge page? Can you do a separate page? We're like, well, let's just kind of see where we go to from here. Her radiation was just pretty daily and nothing to report. So it was really after that, and we decided what we wanted to do trial-wise, that we did it, and it was a great decision. Like, instead of strangers being very kind and friending us, but we don't know who they are, they were able to access the Embracing Emma page to connect with our family.
We've had people from literally all over the world get on there, and we've had messages from parents who have gone through the same thing we're going through. Again, people wanting to know what they can do to help, and
offering their photography services and other donations and that kind of stuff, just wanting to love on us.
I see the bracelets too. Is that part of the campaign?
Yeah, well, we had two different friends make bracelets, and
Yep. So this the top one here is from Emma and Abby's teacher at Parkside. She created this, and actually it says "Embracing Emma," and then on the inside it says "With all our hearts." And so this was a fundraiser at their school that they did for families in the school to support Emma. This other one was done by a friend in I'm part of the Moms of Multiples group here in Bloomington Normal, and a member of that team that I'm a part of, she did the other one as a fundraiser as well. So yeah, lots of groups that we belong to that have really gone out of their way to just do whatever they can to help, and we feel the love and support. It doesn't always heal our hearts, but we do feel it, and we appreciate it all, even when we can't get back to the messages and make sure that we thank each and every person. We do appreciate it and feel it.
In terms of, obviously, with the days looking different and you guys' schedules looking different, how is Emma comprehending what is actually happening right now?
good question.
She doesn't know. She knows that she had a brain bleed and that she's still having troubles with headaches and tummy aches and that kind of stuff. But being 6 years old, we don't feel like that we need to scare her. She sees this. She's a smart girl. Like, she sees the St. Jude commercials. She knows we go there every week. She loves going there. But we also just want her to be 6.
And it's going to be harder as we go along to protect her from this. Now that the cancer's in her spine, it's kind of sped up things, and I can't even imagine having to tell her what's going on.
What are you all finding your source of strength in the midst of this? Because a lot of people obviously supporting you, but as you said, Laura, are not in your shoes. How do you all continue to go about your day? You still going to work, them still going to school, you still being a full hands-on mom, 3 other children to attend to. How do you push through on a day-to-day basis?
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You don't really have time to feel sorry for yourself or ask why, and those are all valid things, but you want Emma to be happy, you want Abby to be happy, you still have to pay the bills, and you just keep plugging along.
We prayed for these girls for a long time, and we just want to live every day with them. It's not fair, but I just do what I do. Like, I'm just their mom, and I'm going to continue to be her mom. And we try to make things as normal as possible. Like, she was doing school here right before you came. She still has schoolwork to do when you leave. But we just kind of get through our days as normal as possible. And it's not about us. We put it all into them because they're so special.
And then lastly for me, is there anything else you think that would help people better understand what you're going through, how they can continue to support you, or anything else you think is really important in sharing the difficult time you guys have been dealing with.
I think moments of adversity like this are always a good time for reflection, and people always tell us they don't know what to do, they don't know what to say, and that's okay, because we don't know what to do or say either most of the time. But it's just a good time to kind of look at your own life and say, this is what's important, because all the problems that we had before October,
Don't matter.
haven't even thought about them.
Yep.
I mean, your family and your health, it's all that matters.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like, DIPG was not in our vocabulary. Children with cancer was not something that we thought of really on a daily basis ever. And I mean, to bring awareness to it, to just spend time with your family, like put your phones down, be together, is one of our biggest things that we've learned and come to with all this.
I know, just being in this business as long as I've been, and I've done and read stories about tragedies like what we're going through, and after a certain while you kind of become desensitized, but now that it's happened to me, I think